Pokemon Ultimate Adventures by Mikazuki. Kingler clapped his pincers and aimed the large one threateningly at the Feraligatr. "Don't do anything!" Ash told Pikachu, Totodile, and Cyndaquil. "Let the powerhouses do their work until I give you the instructions. Surround him and attack!" Snorlax uppercutted Leviathan, making him stumble back a few steps. Tauros kicked Leviathan on the back with his front hooves. Kingler sprung up and smacked Leviathan on the side of the face with his gigantic claw. After that round of attacks, the armor was chipped and cracked, while the helmet protecting Leviathan's face fell off. "The face is vulnerable! Pikachu, Skull Bash!" Ash commanded. Pikachu focused and launched through the air, bashing Leviathan on the side of the head. "Totodile, slash!" Totodile jumped up and clawed Feraligatr across the face. Kingler struck his claw into the back of the body armor. Kingler's claw pierced, and with all his might, his claw clamped shut and cut the armor on the back. Tauros charged forwards and slammed into Leviathan. From that last hit, the body armor broke completely and fell to the ground. "No! Not the body armor! Anything but the body armor!" Aquamarine shouted. "Ah! This isn't over yet! Even with the defense add-ons gone, he still has the talons and arm blades!" "Maybe, but I'm not even gonna give him the chance to use them!" Ash laughed. "Snorlax! Pikachu! Drive him into the trees!" Pikachu focused and launched off the ground, hitting Aquamarine and sending him flying into the thick woods. Snorlax mega-punched Leviathan as hard as he could, which sent him crashing into the woods along with Aquamarine. Leviathan, with his size, broke through several trees, and they cracked and fell onto them. "All right! Step 2, Cyndaquil, use Fire Spin! Don't focus on strength, focus on area!" Cyndaquil blew fire and set the trees and bushes in the undergrowth on fire. Ah! Aquamarine ran out and started rolling on the ground in an attempt to get rid of the flames over his body. "You jerk! That could've killed me!" Leviathan burst out of the flaming heap of fallen trees. Thankfully for him, he was a water type and resistant to fire damage, but he was still vulnerable, and the flames left heavy burns that made it painful to move. Leviathan roared and charged at Snorlax, attacking him, but Pikachu struck with Thunderbolt. "Nice Thunderbolt, Pikachu!" Ash cheered. "Don't give him a chance to do any of the special attacks! He's burned, and without the armor, Hydro Thunder!" Leviathan roared in pain as electricity surged through his body. He was paralyzed, burned, and exhausted. He dropped to his knees. One good attack would take him down. "Finish him, Pikachu!" Ash shouted. "Thunder attack! Pikachu!" Pikachu's cheeks sparked, and he released all of his electricity. Leviathan screamed as it surged through him. He could take no more, and collapsed. "Yes! I win!" "Leviathan, return." Aquamarine called his prize-fighter Pokemon back to the Pokeball. "No, this is too much. Even against a Pokemon powerful enough to take down 001's Tyranitar, or Lance the Dragon Trainer's strongest Dragonite, you were able to devise such tactics to disarm my Pokemon and defeat him. Maybe you are worthier of Misty than me." He sighed. "Pah!" He suddenly spat. "Like hell I'd ever say that! I'm not done yet! Prepare yourself!" Ash and his Pokemon stood ready as Aquamarine grabbed his trident. Ah! Aquamarine gritted his teeth as he twirled his trident in front of him, and taking a fighting stance, he gripped it with both hands. It was extremely painful because his wrist was injured, but he could bear it. Closing his eyes, he held the trident tight, focusing hard. "Since before I left Cerulean City, I have been training to master this technique, one that requires the power of the body and the soul." A blue aura surrounded his body. "A body and soul technique?" Ash gasped. Suddenly it dawned on him. He could sense it. Danger! Ash started to tremble. Aquamarine's power. He could feel it. It was tremendous. He looked at his Pokemon. Ash growled. Aquamarine's power. There was no attack he had. No attack in existence that could possibly stand up to it. No! We won't run! Ash exclaimed, gripping his knuckles. He wasn't going to back down. We'll stand together! All for one! He said, and his Pokemon cheered. We'll combine all our strengths and beat this psycho! Pikachu charged and powered up his attack. Cyndaquil's flames burst and flared as he opened his mouth, preparing to fire the heavy blast of his flamethrower attack. Totodile had never learned to do Hydro Pump, so he focused all his energy into a water gun. Snorlax opened his mouth and concentrated his energy into a Hyper Beam. Similarly, Tauros prepared his own Hyper Beam attack. Kingler opened his claw. With Totodile already supplying the water for the attack, he was going to supply the third Hyper Beam. Merely attacking together won't be enough, Ash said to himself. What I'm about to try is something no one's ever done before. To truly combine their strengths, to fully bind the elements, and merge them together. He looked at his Pokemon. But what if it doesn't work? There's no way we'll survive Aquamarine's attack! He growled. No! I can't start thinking like that! I have to have faith in my Pokemon, in their strength, in their abilities. I trust them. You think you can win? I don't think so. Aquamarine grinned. You will be defeated by my attack! Your attack may be strong, but the power of mine outshines yours, and it doesn't come from strength alone! Terror of the Deep! Ah! He struck the ground with his trident. Blue energy started to flare up and headed towards them. Tearing through the ground was what appeared to be a crystal blue dorsal fin. It rose out of the ground as it sped forwards, and Ash gasped at what he saw. It was a huge beam of energy, but the front was shaped as a shark's head, with all the fins and gills, and not to mention, very sharp teeth. Now! Fire! Ash ordered. The 3 hyper beams soared through the air, spiraling around each other. The force of the beams also carried the water, which was electrified by Pikachu's energy. Spinning around the powerful beam was a wave of fire. The might of the energy beam collided with the terror of the deep. Come on! Ash shouted over the loud crash of the noise. Both beams pushed against each other. Everyone was trying to put more power into it. How can any human being have so much power? Aquamarine was sweating. He was emptying his energy into this single attack. I will not lose! The terror of the deep cannot be defeated! While the powerful beam contained 3 hyper beams and a bit of each element, it was still not enough. Against the power of this warrior, merely attacking together did nothing. The new attack was starting to fall apart. No! Hold together! Ash shouted, but the beam was breaking. No! Ash screamed. It was too late. Each element flew in opposite directions. Pikachu, Totodile, Cyndaquil, Tauros, Kingler, and Snorlax collapsed. And even though Ash wasn't hit directly by the terror of the deep beam, the explosion sent him flying.